right center. That ball is gone into Monument Park.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Monument Park podcast. I'm Cole Weintraub, and that's my co-host, Luke Profaci. And for the first time in weeks, the Yankees are playing good baseball. Luke and I are cautiously optimistic about this team right now, but we still have a lot of ground to make up. Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing good. The last time we talked, we were 8 or 9 games out of playoff contention, and we cut that deficit in half, partly because of our 5 out of 6 week, and then partly because the Rays just collapsed. I don't know what happened. They got walked off 3 times. So we're in not the worst spot, only 4.5 games out of the division and 4 games out of wild card. But the bats still have a ways to go, and the pitching was faltering at some points, but we're in a much better state than we were last week.
Totally. And me and Luke were following along on these Rays Mariners games like it was like the playoffs. Like it was a pennant race. We were tuning in. We were going nuts when Kyle Seager's walk off, Mitch Haniger's walk off, Shed the Goat Long's walk off, grand salami. I mean, it's just beautiful. And you know, they had to go to their bag of tricks and they had to call up their top prospect, Wander Franco, who we'll see. I don't know when we'll see him, but I'm hoping he's not, going to wreck us because we play the
I think we only play them one more time this year. Actually, we've already played them 3 times, I believe,
which is a good thing.
Which is good to get that out of the way and still be in the spot that we're in. We have a chance to beat up on the Red Sox a little bit, make up some ground, and hopefully things get to where we need to go.
Right. So we play them next on the 27th of July. But you want to hear something? Right after the All-Star break, we got 4 against Boston, 15th through 18th, and then we got another 4 against Boston, 22 through 25th. So that is a lot of baseball against the Boston Red Sox. I'm really not sure how I feel about them because the way that we played them the last time, we got swept. So I don't know how really optimistic you can feel or confident you can feel in this team. But at that point, we were terrible, but we were getting leads and our pitching wasn't holding up. And that was like the opposite of what had been happening. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a 0-9 parallel because we started off 0-8 against them and then finished 8 out of 9. And we're kind of doing the same thing we did where we start really slow and got swept by them. And it felt like everything was falling apart. But now we have a chance we're going to have multiple chances to kind of turn it on its heels, and hopefully this team bounces back.
Totally. I agree. So the day that we posted the last episode was June 15th, which was Tuesday. The Yanks went to Buffalo, Salem Field. And I mean, we got stuff done. We really did. Luke, June 15th, game 1.
Yeah, game 1, we came in off that terrible 2-game set against the Phillies, and Monty did what Monty does, just 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs. He made, it's not a terrible start. Obviously, you want things to be better, but he fell apart a little bit in the 4th inning with hits and walks because they scored on a pass ball and then a 2-run single to make it 5-2. And coming off of that weekend and going down 5-2 in Buffalo, you can't be feeling good. But we bounced back later in the game. Earlier in the game, Gary went deep to tie the game at 1-1, and Gittins hit his first career hit and home run to tie the game at 2-2, which had us feeling good until that rough 4th inning. But in the 6th inning, we rallied. Gio and Gary led off the inning with a single and a double to put 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and Andujar got the run in on a ground out to make it 5-3. Obviously, you want to get more when there's 2 runners in scoring position, but it was really important to get 1 and cut that lead to 2. And when we have a bullpen like we have, we're going to hold them. So it's just about getting the offense to get the hits when they need. And Gardy led off the 7th with a huge home run to get the game to 1. Just clear. We'll take it, though. Sometimes it has to be like that.
It was on the dirt. He just went down and got it.
Oh, I know. He golfed it. It was crazy. And huge momentum. Changed the whole week. And then DJ scored on a couple wild pitches after he doubled, which is lucky. I feel like we've been getting those all year with whether it's bases loaded walks or wild pitches, but we'll always take them. We need everything we can get when the offense is playing as it is. And we go into the 8th, and Boone was honestly pushing the right buttons here. Andujar led off with a single, and he pinch ran him for Wade, who immediately stole a bag, which is huge. We don't do that a lot, but it worked out in our favor. And then Clint pinch hit and hit a huge one-out double to make it 6-5.
Yep.
Big pinch hit AB from Clint. This was a good week for the pinch hitters. Later in the week, Gary hit a bomb. It just felt like with the lineup stuff or more of the pinch hitting stuff, Boone was pushing buttons that needed to be pushed, and we came out on top. Yeah, like I said earlier, though, the bullpen. I mean, 4 2/3 scoreless after Monty got a little shaky, which is huge. Sessa came in and cleaned up after we had to pull Monty a little early. And then Loizaga, Britton, and Chapman all through scoreless innings. The only one who got a little bit into trouble was Britton. It was his first high leverage inning, I think, since he's been off the IL. And he got Bo to fly out with 2 outs and bases loaded, which is huge. At the end of the day, he got out of it no runs, and that's all we can ask for. And then Chappie came in and locked it down, which is huge. It was a big win, and it set the momentum for the whole week.
I mean, we got a clutch base hit. We got a Clint Frazier base hit. Seeing Clint Frazier, I mean, after that brutal Phillies miniseries, I was at an all-time low with Clint Frazier, but to see him come up big, get a hit, even seeing Clint get a hit's gonna bring a slight like whoa to my, you know what I mean. And for him to come up and line a double down the line and give us that was the lead, right? So that's just huge. You want to see, it's just confidence, because when you're a hitter and you just keep going down, and then you finally get that's one spark. I mean, if you play for the Yankees, you probably won't be in the next day because that's just how we roll. But I mean, Clint did his job, and he had a pretty nice game the other day. So hopefully he's trying to turn it around. Yesterday's game was a little shaky, but he did work a nice at bat. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, huge at bat. I love that at bat.
But big. Yeah, I just felt like that energy in Buffalo, like the energy from the fans was crazy. Like we had a lot. It was like kind of like the Philly series, but we actually won the series.
Timely hitting.
There was a lot. I mean, it is Buffalo, New York, but there was a lot of Yankee fans out there, and I mean they were just feeding off it. But and another thing, Chris Gittens hit his, like you said, his first career home run, first career hit, and he was actually his first career hit / home run was stolen in the Minnesota series.
Yeah.
So it was just meant to be. It was. So good for him.
No, he did good overall win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you knew that was coming. I think there could be an argument where we send Rugi down or just to Mars and keep Gittens up. But I mean, he's a lefty. We need lefties, and he's gonna hit a home run and pimp it once every week or two. And I feel like that's enough. Yeah, it's enough to keep him one big pinch at AB, and he's a big asset to our team.
I don't know why, it just Rookie makes me laugh. He's just so, like, you look at his batting average, it's just so ass, but he's just playing every day like he's hitting 300, and it just I find
it's funny. It's so funny. It is.
So move on to the next game. So I mean, we didn't really do. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm losing it right now. Garrett Cole coming into the start, you're still wondering, is he still Garrett Cole? Is he still Garrett Cole? Is he going to, continue his success with the recent, accusations, call it what you want, with the sticky substance? Major League Baseball came out with this, a modified rule. They added to it that you can't use sunscreen and rosin anymore. And here's what I think. I was listening to Tyler Glasnow, what he had to say. I listened to Peter Moylan, who was a former relief pitcher. These baseballs are mud rubbed, right? And what Peter Moylan was saying, he was a former pitcher for the Braves. He works for the Braves at Bally Sports. He was saying that it was very inconsistent. Sometimes you would get a mud rubbed ball from 2 days ago. Sometimes you get it from 3 days ago, and sometimes like the day before. After time, those mud rubbed baseballs become dusty, and it loses the entire, like, tackiness is gone. The tackiness of the baseball is gone. There's no way you can grip it without, using something else. So Moylan was saying that through 06 to 2010, he pitched pretty well, but then in 2011, it was just he went to spring training and couldn't grip his curveball. He couldn't throw his curveball anymore. So someone introduced him to sunscreen and rosin, and right from there, he said he wasn't increasing his spin. It wasn't no more spin. He wasn't throwing it any harder. It was just he was throwing it more natural because he was throwing it way more natural, and it was back to where he was from '06 to 2010. Glasnow comes out and says Glasnow's got humongous hands. So he doesn't really need it to, pitch, but pitching coach, their pitching coach last name is Snyder. I think it's Dave Snyder.
Yeah.
I'll double check, but he taught Tyler Glasnow. He's been teaching the Rays pitchers to throw their fastballs like an egg. You hold it really loose in your hand. Kyle Snyder, excuse me. Hold it really loose in your hand. Not grip it to the point where you're choking the baseball. I'll go get a baseball to, help visualize.
No, but yeah, with the Glasnow stuff, I really do believe that he got hurt because he had to overcompensate for the grip of the slick ball after years of using rods and sunscreen and whatever else. I understand getting rid of the spider tack and the pine tar because that's a competitive advantage past what pitchers need, but rosin and sunscreen, that's safety. More people are going to be getting hit now because balls are just going to be flying out of people's hands. I'm just worried about player safety and stuff when it comes to rosin. I don't know. I don't see the point in banning that mid-season. It's crazy.
Yeah, so Glasnow's throwing his fastball like this. He's got some space in between his fingers. His hands are much bigger than mine, but he's got some space. He's holding it really loose. But what he had to do is he had to dig the ball into the back of his hand. There's barely any space there. When you do that, he also had to do it with his breaking ball too. When you do that and you're putting the force in the back of your hand, you're flexing these muscles in here, right here. Whenever I do this, I'm flexing the muscle right there, and all the tendons are getting tense in there. So, when you make that quick adjustment throughout the middle of the season, they're going to make you make an adjustment like that. And you're going to have to just go out your next start and pitch the way you pitch. He pitched fine, but I mean, it's not going to be good for your arm at all. And it's a shame that he's out. He did something to his UCL. I'm not sure if he's out for the year.
That would be such a big blow for just baseball. Obviously, us being Yankee fans, there's that thing where everyone's going to be like, oh, well, we don't have to face him. But it's just bad for baseball when the best players aren't on the field and the competition isn't at its highest. And it's disappointing that it had to happen because of something like this. It wasn't like it was a freak injury and his UCL just blew out. It was due to a rule change on a very controversial topic. It's disappointing to see stuff like that.
Right. So Garrett Cole, I mean, he goes in, and according to Cole in the postgame, my dad said it was the most distraught he's ever seen someone in a postgame. It was just it was one of the crazier postgames he's ever seen because he was emotional about it. He was just you could, I mean, he's already got a Kermit voice, but when he was upset, he sounds really I wouldn't say whiny. You can just hear it in his, you hear it in his voice. He said he had no grip of the baseball. If Garrett Cole has no grip of the baseball against a team that absolutely mashes baseballs, and he goes 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts. I mean, the 4 strikeouts are the 4 strikeouts. I mean, if he's gonna go 8 innings, I don't care that he struck out 4 hitters as long as he's keeping the ball in the ballpark. So it's just okay. Maybe the strikeout numbers go down, but he's still a really good pitcher. He might
95 mile an hour change.
I
didn't even have to. Oh, you did. I didn't even mean to just that's something that just had to be brought up. It was he went 102 paint and then overlaid it with a 95 mile an hour change. We're gonna start seeing weird anomalies like that when these pitchers, because they're adjusting on the fly. But yeah, maybe strikeouts go down. Who knows? But it's also a player safety issue, which sucks. I'm just glad it didn't, he didn't get tagged, because then his post-game interview would have been seen as just bitter about his tough outing. But it's not the case. It's just he's upset and his friend's hurt. Bad for baseball, I think.
Yeah, and one of the reporters basically asked Cole how when he threw that 95 change.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, I've never seen that before. I've never seen a 95 mile an hour changeup. I've seen low 90s, but I've never seen that. That is, I don't know how much of a changeup that really is. I mean, at that point, it's just like it's a fastball, but
it just like went low and just kind of like it didn't die, but it came out of his hand like going low, but it just kind of like stayed flat on play. It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird to see. I don't know.
But
yeah, but I mean,
the bats really didn't do too much. Loaded the bases with nobody out in the first inning. I was at the Mets game. They played the Cubbies. DeGrom got hurt. He struck out the first 8 hitters out of his 9, which was ridiculous. I thought he was going to break the record, but he ended up getting hurt. He's all right. But besides that, loaded the bases, nobody out. We get a Stanton sac fly, nothing else. And I mean, when you do that, you deserve that lead to go as Marcus Semien, who like kills the Yankees on like the low. Like he like actually like kills us. And he's just like a beast. Like that's probably like, if not the best, I don't really know of any other ones that are that good, but like that was probably one of the best pickups in the offseason. I mean,
for sure.
He got him for like nothing.
For sure.
And he's on
11 mil, I believe. I think it was 11 mil. And yeah, he murders us. At least it's not like all the Rays where it's like they're bad baseball players until they play the Yankees. He's just a very good baseball player, and they're in a very good lineup.
I mean, good for him. He's working up his market. He signed a 1-year deal, and he's playing like a $24 million player. I mean, how can you
good for him?
That?
Prove it deal working.
Exactly. So Cole gives up solo shots to Semien and Biggio. But I mean, it gets to the 7th inning. The bats were dead the whole game. Ross Stripling, who I actually met yesterday, was dicing us up, like just dicing us up, just ridiculous. The fact that we couldn't hit him just blows my mind. And then there was a slow roller to Joe Panic. Joe Panic tried barehanding it, and then Ross Stripling goes and just goes off on him. You're not supposed to show up your teammate. When you're a pitcher, the emotions are always high, but you still should have some self-control. He says after the game that he apologized thoroughly, but the reason why he was mad was because Stanton doesn't always run it out, which is a shot at Giancarlo Stanton for absolutely no reason. That it doesn't hustle, and then Aaron Boone comes on WFAN the next day, says that they want Giancarlo to run 80% on ground balls in the infield. And then obviously when it's in the gap, you run 100%, but you just want him to be all right. I don't know.
Coaches, we did these sprints, build-ups, like 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. You can't like choose down to the percent. You just run. Like, I'm not like, I'm going to run this one at exactly 70%. You kind of just run. So I feel like putting these numerical boundaries on Stan is kind of dumb. Just tell him to do his best and not get hurt. And because he knows his body better than everyone else. And it's clear that what we tell him to do doesn't work. I don't know. I didn't agree with throwing a shot at Stan, especially with all the health issues he's had. But I just think being specific about how hard he has to run in certain scenarios was kind of overkill, in my opinion.
Right. I agree. I mean, when you do something like that and then you just call someone out for no reason, you just knew Stanton was going to get his revenge the next day. You just knew it. And, I mean, he did. But Gary came up off the bench looking like 2017, 2016 Gary, even 2019 Gary. I'll take 2019 Gary. The MVP, and hits an absolute bomba, 2-run shot, gives us the lead. I saw in-play runs on my phone. I was like, oh my God, please be a home run. Please be a home run. When I saw it said home run, I just went nuts. But yeah, lock things down. But then it gets to the 9th inning, and my friend who loves to rub in Yankee losses into my face is watching. He's at his own team's game and he's watching the Yankee game on his phone. Like, that's how much real estate's up there.
Loser.
Exactly. So Vlad singles, He's a Lululemon friend of yours. We'll talk about that in
Good.
So,
All right, I like him again. That's fine.
okay.
Big
So
Lulu guy.
Vlad singles and then Teoscar doubles and it's second and third, nobody out. You got the winning run, right? Winning run on second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So winning runs on second base. I mean, I'm just losing it. I'm like, all right, the game's over. Like, how can you really have any? He was like, you have no confidence in your closer. I was like, have you seen the way the Yankees have been playing baseball lately? Like, I have no confidence anywhere. So, Chapman just does the job. Strikes out. What was it, Grichuk?
Grichuk, yeah.
And then there was a play back to the mound. Chappie it was like he didn't even think about it. He just said, "I'm throwing it home." Like he didn't even check the runner. Like I guess Vlad obviously took off. Boneheaded mistake by him. But he just takes off. But Chapman just like doesn't even matter to Chapman. He's just gonna throw it. He gets it and just chucks it. Like, what is that gonna do? It's really scary when Chapman has the ball in his hands after the ball's put in play. It's like Betances almost.
Every time. It's the same thing.
It's like just Betances, but Betances actually had something wrong when he couldn't just throw the ball. Chapman, he gets it there, but besides the point, throws it home, and Gary just throws an absolute seed to third base.
Oh my God. I mean, it was a missile. It was a missile. Just straight Gary game.
And based on the replay, straight Gary game, exactly. Based on the replay, it looked like he had been safe, but I mean, I when I saw that they were reviewing it, I was like, all right, game's still over, you know.
Yeah, no, I heard on another podcast or Twitter or something that it was like Vlad came off the bag after the initial tag, because you see Vlad's reaction. He just kind of smacks the ground like he knows he messed up, which makes me think that he came off the bag and Gio still had the tag on him, so he was out. But with the limited camera angles in Buffalo, because they're playing at a minor league park, they couldn't broadcast it or maybe even look at it. I don't know if Umps had different looks than we did, but it looked like Vlad knew that he was out. So I feel like if we were in a big league park, we could have got a better angle that could have showed something different. But an out's an out either way.
I mean, Vlad's got to have some common sense there. I mean,
I know.
You're really going to react like you're out before you're actually out? Like you have a challenge left. Like at least don't, because like if I'm looking at the play and I see the way Vlad reacted, I'm already going to think he's out. I mean,
for sure.
Biased. Maybe they're just clear-minded and they just do it based off that review. But Vlad, I mean, yeah, sure he got thrown out, and sure that wasn't even the last dagger, because they did have another chance. And Gurriel came up and line went at Gardner. It was a sinking liner. It was a little iffy. But I mean, after you get that huge out, because think about it, if Vlad's safe, it's bases loaded, nobody out, or bases loaded, one out. Like, and sure, the double plays in order, like woohoo, like yeah, we're totally gonna turn it. Well, we'd probably turn a triple if we could.
Yeah, somehow.
But it's just it was nerve-wracking, but Chapman got out of it. It was actually the first time in the Yankee short history, because it's only a couple of years back, 10 years back, 11 years back actually, that the winning and tying runs were both in scoring position with nobody out, and we got out of it and won. Mo did it in 2010 against the Diamondbacks. So I mean that's cool.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Getting his revenge on the Diamondbacks, I guess you could say. I don't know. But you know, that was pretty cool to see. Chapman showed some balls, going right after Grichuk, right after the second and third, and did his job. So props to him.
Yeah, a lot of big plays and big moments in this game, and that ended up being the difference for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it led right into game 3. This game was weird. Such a weird game. King started. I feel like every King start is just, you never really know what's going to happen. And it was in the earlier innings, I believe the second inning, or maybe the third, there was an inning where he didn't really have command. And a runner was on first and second, and they threw a pass ball. and it was second and third. It was the third inning, second and third, no outs, and I just thought it was done. And then just a comebacker to King, and the Blue Jays on the base pass this series were bad because he checks the runner at third and then goes to first, but Bo went from second to third. So DJ caught the ball at first, and there was just two people at third base, which that's not good. You can't have that. And so DJ just kind of ran through to second. Glaber, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first inning.
First?
First inning, yeah.
I was on Gamecast. I don't know. But yeah, no, he threw it to Glaber. Glaber came down, threw it home, and then they get the runner at third out, but then Bo still just hanged in the middle. I don't know what he was doing. Gio turned and flipped it to Glaber at third, who Glaber covered a lot of ground in this play. He caught the ball at two different bases, got the tag down, triple play. We get out of it. It was huge. And still, the offense still just was weird. First and third, no outs, and we only ended up scoring one in the first, and it was on an error. Comebacker to TJ
Zoik,
doesn't it? Zoik? All right, so that bad pronunciation guy. And he just threw it in the center for the error, and that was the only run we scored until the third when Gio hit a 2-run bomb. I feel like when Gio isn't hitting bombs, he looks so bad, but he's always hitting bombs and popping the chain. So we just got to take the good with the bad with that, I guess. And we were up 3-0, and it seemed like we were cruising, even though we had King on the bump, and he came back and let up 2 in the third and 1 in the fifth to choke the lead. They tied it at 3 in the
Andujar, did you see the play in left field? Remember
when he dropped?
Well, it was like they did, they called it an error and then they took it back.
Okay. It was a tough play. They
realized it was Andujar out there. They realized it was Andujar out there and took the error away.
No, it's just, we're just dicey sometimes. People playing out of position, stuff like that's going to happen. They end up tying the game in the fifth and then actually taking the lead in the sixth, 4-3. And we have Chad on the bump down 4-3. And Kevin Biggio just hits a bomb down the right field line. And Judge Supermans comes out of nowhere, makes an unbelievable catch, robbing a home run to keep the game within 1. And that was the biggest play of the game, hands down. The offense sparked coming from that. Stan hit a go-ahead 2-run shot in the 7th. Big revenge. And then Chris Gittens with a huge, was it pinch hit? I think it was pinch hit, right?
Back-to-back
pinch hit. Yeah, exactly. Pinch hit 2 RBI single to make it 7-4. Just put the nail in the coffin. And then we added a sac fly from Gittens again in the top of the ninth to make it 8-4. Bada bing, bada boom. Sweet. Love it. It was a huge turnaround. It was big. The Judge play sparked it, to be honest.
Totally.
I didn't even tune in until like the 6th. I was busy, and I see we're down 4-3. I thought we were going to win the game. And then it was just we were losing, and Judge just brought it all back. It was a huge play and a huge one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, totally. I say totally every time. It wasn't back-to-back days. We did have 2, I believe 2 out base hits to break
huge
tie, or maybe break the tie and extend the lead. Frazier and Gittens. Good to see Gittens. Oh, and then he came up later and hit a sac fly, so he's actually one for Ribbies. So good for him. And the 4-5-6 that game, I like to do this. 4-5-6 went 6 for 11 with 7 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 3 strikeouts, but that is what it is. Urshela just had a game. He made that backhanded stop and just was chilling on the tarp. That's such a meme.
So swaggy.
It just is. And then later in that game, he gets a home run called back. So it would have been his 4th hit.
Oh, yeah.
So he would have had 2 homers, a double, and a single. I mean, I feel like he's just so close to hitting the cycle like so many times. I just feel like he's always there.
It's coming.
But yeah, I mean, he looked really good that day. Stanton did too. And I think this is when people started to realize, all right, Big Mike's finally, hopefully coming through with that big home run. So, I mean, Sanchez, Sanchez went 1 for 4 too. with 2 runs scored.
Mm,
I'll take it.
love it.
That's a 250 average. I'll take that all day. A Sanchez hit does it for me. So we sweep the Blue Jays on the road. After the Blue Jays had hit like 15 home runs in 2 days against the Boston Red Sox, I said, all right, like there's just no way we win this series. I mean, our infamous sheet, which we did like, I don't know how long ago, had, 1 out of 3 against Toronto, if you could see right there. But clearly we swept. So that's cool.
Love it.
So we move on, and we got to go play the hottest team in baseball, the Oakland A's. So the Jays hadn't been really a hot team. They were just hitting a bunch of home runs. But here, now we put it to the test. Are we going to step up? Are we going to, stick it to the A's? I believe going in, they were 12-2 in June. So you don't like to see that. And you also don't like Jamison Tyone on the mound against them. I did not really watch some of this, but I did follow along throughout the game. And it was the first inning, and J-Mo had just gotten 2 outs. All right, before I start with that, he was throwing different pitches. He was throwing a sinker, and he was also throwing a changeup. So when you are Jamison Tyone and you're throwing 93-mile-an-hour fastballs and then throwing these curveballs that never look like strikes, you need a different pitch because he can get to 0-2, he can get to 2 strikes, but he never puts away anybody, because if you have a brain, you know what to do against him. Foul. You don't even have to do anything too much. You just foul until he throws you a fastball down the middle. And then he's
you see the 0-2 pitch he threw to Olsen?
Yeah, so that was
it was a changeup middle. It was the worst. I was so upset. It was the worst 0-2 pitch I've ever seen.
I don't know if that's a changeup or a sinker, because it was 90 miles an hour. And if his fastball's at 93 and he's throwing 90-mile-an-hour sinkers, I don't know if that's going to go a long way. Well, this one went a long way, but I don't know if that pitch is going to go a long way. Well, it did go a long way, but you know what I mean. In the long run, if that pitch is going to, become a part of his repertoire. But I'm in the car with my dad. I'm like joking around. I was like, hitting the air to right field. That ball is high. It is far. It is. And as I'm saying this, like joking, and Matt Olson's at the plate, literally like the exact pitch I'm joking, he hits a home run. Same home run call. Same everything. I like to do that just to mess around. My dad's like, why did you have to say that? I was like, I don't know. It was funny though. But looking at the end of the game, it wasn't too funny because, we needed runs back. So we fall behind 1-0, and then we fall behind 2-0. So it's just amazing, right? It's just amazing. DJ comes up, hits a 2-run shot. You want to see the power from him. You want to see him going to the opposite field. You want to see him hit for power to the opposite field. Doesn't mean he has to hit home runs. He just has to hit doubles, singles, whatever. Just hit it to the opposite field, because when DJ hits it to the opposite field, DJ's on. So that makes it 2-2. And Rugi comes up, and James Caprillian's on the mound. And this guy, I just knew this guy was going to carve against us. I mean, it's like his first start. It's his rookie season. He's finally in the big leagues. He's like 27.
It was like a 2.6. It was the most. He had like a 2.6 or something going in. He was just shoving. I mean, it was the most.
If he had been on the Yankees all this time and he still wasn't in the big leagues, he was 27, I would have been like a little like this about him. But I mean, you just knew like that was going to happen. The umpire was terrible this game.
Oh my God, dude. They have the umpiring scorecards. They post them on Twitter. And usually when the ump's bad, the run differential, like they have a stat where it shows how much it helped a certain team or how much it didn't. Usually the number's like plus 0.3 or to plus 0.4 for favoring a certain team on a bad day. His final thing was plus 0.79 favoring the A's. His 5 worst calls of the night were all against us. It was so bad, and we needed everything we could get, and we just weren't. It was killing at-bats, and it was killing rallies. It sucked to watch. It was so upsetting.
So Rugi hits a bomb, pimped it, just a Rugi pimp. Yeah, we just still don't do anything. Wandy comes in, JMO goes 4 2/3, 2 earned runs. I'll take that. I mean, really, I'll take that because it's against the A's and 4 2/3 is 4 2/3. I know it's not a quality outing according to statistics, but it still is in my book. Wandy comes in, gets an out, and then he gets 2 outs to start the second inning. And you get 2 base hits in a row, followed up by a hanging slider to a lefty. Wandy hasn't given up a home run to a lefty yet this year. And Tony Kemp, his third lefty home run ever off Wandy Peralta, gives them the lead 5-3, and that's all they needed. That's all they needed because they went on to win 5-3. And that was just such a demoralizing loss because you have that Odor home run and you're like, okay, here we go. That's big. That's huge. Rookie coming up clutch once again. And then Wandy hangs a slider to Tony Kemp. Really? Did he do something else that game? I feel like he did something else. Or no, he hit a home run.
He hit a double, and he hit a double earlier that led to a Canna single for the second run. But I mean, the thing about Wandy is his slider's his third or fourth best pitch. He has a really good changeup, and I believe it might be a cutter. I don't really know what it is. It's like a fastball with some run, which why are you throwing a slider? Just give him a nice changeup and he's going to fan at it. His changeup's so nasty, and I didn't get the pitch selection there. Obviously, we pushed a lot of right buttons this week. You can't hang your hat on one mistake, but that was a big one. And he was also running out of gas. It was a second inning. It was just a big blow for the game.
If we're going to call Wandy our lefty specialist, I mean, he can't be giving up 3-run home runs to lefties and loses the game.
5'6", 160 lefties. I was just yelling Tony Kemp's dimensions at the TV that whole game. I'm a little guy too. I love seeing that. But dude, come on. We need disappointing. Glad we bounced back. It would have hurt a lot more if we lost that third game or even just lost any of the next 2 Oakland games. But we took care of business and it was big.
I think I was as big as Tony Kemp when I was 13.
Me too, and I just didn't grow again. All right, game 2. Herman was iffy. He wasn't that good.
You see the stash? Ugh.
Herman was rocking a stash. I didn't really notice it.
It was really weird. It was just
not a good one. He doesn't strike me as a stash guy. He's still he needs to rock that baby face. He's one of those. His line, he went 4 innings, 7 hits, only 4 runs. Nestor bailed him out on that. He was getting strikeouts. He had 6 Ks in 4 innings. I just think he was leaving pitches up, and people were mashing. Did you see the Matt Olson 2-run single in the 4th?
I didn't.
We shifted against Matt. Matt Olson had 3 hits this weekend off opposite field ground balls to right where the shortstop should have been. And every time we were giving him the biggest shift, and he was just hitting him right, against the shift. It was so frustrating. And that was the nail in the coffin for his outing. He left down 4-1. But Nestor bailed him out so hard. He went 3 innings with 1 hit ball. He needs to be an opener. Watching JMO go 4 2/3 every week, it got me thinking, put Nestor and have him go the first 2, and then JMO can go 4, and that's 6 innings, and that leads right into the pen, which I would much rather that than 4 2/3 every week. What do you think about that?
The problem with that is I feel like JMO is just getting in, I don't know why he's still getting in the swing of things, but he's still getting in the swing of things. I know he hasn't pitched in 2 years.
Hasn't pitched in a while, yeah.
Just throw him in, out of the bullpen. I don't know how. I just feel like giving him a clean game, clean slate's probably best for someone who's struggling. But I mean, I like the idea totally. Or
let's do it for King then. If we're gonna have King out there every 5th day,
it's literally been that.
Why not have Nestor go 2 and King go 4? King can prove he can go 4 and not just destroy a game.
Yep, and then you got guys to piece it up. You're gonna get O'Day back soon. You got Britton back. You got Chapman. Sorry, I went out of order. You got Loizaga. You have Litke. You still have Sessa and Wandy and literally everybody. So
why not?
and I hope Justin Wilson just goes away, but he probably won't. But he's another guy. So you just have you have many options, many options to go to out of the bullpen. Even if I just don't want a Michael King opener to Nestor, and then they go ahead like 5 runs, and then like we make a comeback, and then we got to use our key relievers, and then we're screwed for the next day. Like, I don't want that. And my dad was saying to me that game where we didn't it's a controversial take, but it's still a take. That game that we lost against the Phillies when we didn't intentionally walk Segura. My dad was saying that they were purposely doing that because they had nobody really behind Chapman. The only guy they had behind Chapman was Loizaga. And at that point, they had already used Green. They've already used Britton. They already used Sessa. They already used Nestor. They already used Wandy. Like, they used everybody. And, like, what does that do for you? They do have an off day the next day, but it's just like maybe they're thinking like that. I don't know.
I don't think it had anything to do with that specific decision, but I think it definitely was in the back of their minds. Like, if we lose it, we should lose it right here, which, I mean, give or take. But yeah, I do think, I do think Nestor's played himself into more of a role than just coming in and blowouts. But we'll see how we use him. Hopefully it's in some capacity. With the stacked pen we have, we don't need him just sitting there. I feel like he could help the team more in other ways.
So I know we haven't used it yet, but I know Wandy is another option. Not sure, but what happens when O'Day comes back? Like, how do you? I mean, I don't think there's anybody on the bench right now. Now that we've optioned Gittins, there's no Brooks Kriskis and there's no Nick Nelsons of the world on the team. So you don't have a lot to work with. You got Nestor's spot. So it's Nestor or
I mean, if they're not going to put Nestor at an opener, might as well send him down. It's kind of where I'm at. Like, why not?
I think I'd rather have O'Day, honestly.
We have a lot of lefties. We're going to have Wandy, Licky, Britton, Chapman. I know Britton and Chapman are high leverage, but you don't need more than 2 lower leverage lefties in the pen. So I definitely think it'd be Nestor. Would be the odd man out. But they could do what they did in 2019, call him up, do the Chad Nestor thing, just no Chad this time, just strictly Nestor, straight to King. I could see that be in effect, but I don't know. They could do some.
Or they could just do that same combo again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think Chad, I don't know. Chad's a back-end guy now, in my opinion, but we'll see.
They can do it with Loizaga's got stretch. We saw him throw like 40 pitches yesterday.
I'd rather keep Loizaga in the back end. Yeah, no, I'd rather keep Loizaga back there than Chad. I don't know. We'll just see what they do. It's not like we have the power to make any decisions, so let's just see how that one plays out. But yeah, I mean, Nestor came in and bailed Herman out. We were down 4-1 after 5. Gary comes up, hits a bomb to make it 4-2, which again, big, same way we did it in game 1 in Buffalo. You just cut the lead from 3-2 going in the later innings, and big things can start happening. And Clint led off the 7th with a big double. He had a big game, 2 doubles. He needs to have more games like that where he's just hitting the ball hard. I feel like he's getting in his head a lot lately. He's had some good at-bats, though. Hopefully he can be a contributor going down the road as we make moves at the deadline and all that. But Gardy was choking in this game. There was 2 instances he came up after Clint, no outs, runner on second, and he would just pop up or strike out. And it would feel like a rally killer. And both times after, DJ would just hit 2 rollovers to get the runner to third. But then we have a runner on third and 2 outs. Luckily, this was the second time that happened. I believe it happened in the 5th or the 6th. But Judge hit a 2-out rocket single up the middle, which was huge to make it 4-3. And Gary followed with a walk. And then Stan singled to knot it at 4, which was massive.
That was a great swing. I know. I'm just
great swing. It was a foot off the plate. No, yeah. Give me your because that was a good swing. Grab the bat. Yep. Absolutely.
So you come up like this.
Yeah, doing his whole stagger thing.
It's just you're just throwing the hands.
When you have arms like that, just throw them out there and have good things happen.
That pitch was like this far off the strike zone. But
it was getting called all weekend. I don't blame him for swinging, but he did the job.
That's a good point. But when Giancarlo's swinging for singles, when he's not
beautiful.
when he's not pulling, so when Giancarlo's here and he pulls out like that's when he's gonna struggle because he's not gonna hit home runs doing that. When he stays in and he just swings opposite field, center, pull, when he's just hitting singles, when he's hitting, he just doesn't think home run. He's so much better.
I agree. He's great when he's not in a home run or bust mindset. And it was huge. It was just in a huge moment, and it was a huge play. I love the Judge Gary Stanton in a row sequence. I think that's how we have to lay it out in terms of lineup construction. Judge in the 2-hole, keeping him there. I was questioning them still keeping him there after all this time because it didn't work. But we see when Gary's playing well and he can slide in that 3 and split up him and Stanton, I think it's for the best of the team in terms of lineup. And Chad came in, our boy, big shutdown inning in the top of the 8th. Huge, because when you answer like that with 2 runs in the 7th to tie the game, the obvious offense, the other team's going to come back harder looking to answer, and he iced it. I believe he struck out the side big time, and it led momentum into the bottom of the 8th. Urshela hit a bomb to center field. Big time off Jesus Luzardo, who was a starter and found himself on the IL for punching his desk and playing video games. And now he's had 5 or 6 outings in the pen and just giving up a run every time. You feel bad for the guy, but it was huge for us.
I've talked to Jesus before. Good guy.
Have you? Oh, I'm sure he's a great guy. It just sucks to see. No, that's just a tough fall from grace, and it wasn't getting any easier as Gio put one in the seats, which it was a weird day for Gio. He broke his bat on double play ball, and the shards got in his eye. I've never really heard of something like that happening, but I mean, sounds like he got it figured out. Obviously didn't miss any time, which is good. We need him in the lineup. And then Gittins and Clint followed up with big walks. Clint had a lot of big walks this weekend, a lot of big at-bats, 3 doubles, 2 big walks. That was good. And then third time's the charm, runner in scoring position, no outs. Gardner just lays down a bunt to sack it over for second and third, 1 out for DJ, who's facing Sergio Romo, who I don't think they could have put in a worse guy to face DJ LeMahieu than a softballer like Sergio Romo. He wasn't even sitting on a pitch. He just saw the slider, flipped his arms out, and hit a 2-run single to make it 7-4. Huge to get that extra hit, as we saw, because they got dicey in the 9th. There was Chappie got the first guy out, no problem. Then the second guy, he threw 5 strikes in an at bat, and it was still a walk. It was just an unbelievable sequence. I actually posted or retweeted it on Twitter. 2 pitches, just bona fide strikes, called it a ball to get the 1-out walk. And then they followed with a couple hits. And Booney actually got ejected in this one. Top of the 9th, he was just yelling at the ump after because he could sense it getting tighter and tighter, and the ump wasn't helping out at all, calling strikes, balls, and he got tossed. It was good to see that after we were really getting bullied by the umps in game 1. I actually had a lot to say on Twitter about that one too. He made up for it and obviously got the guys fired up because Chapman struck out Matt Chapman on a 103.4 mile an hour fastball, just straight up gas to close the game. And it was a big 7-5 win. And I'm just really glad Boone did what he did, because I think it fired up the guys and gave us some fire going into game 3 and hopefully beyond.
I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it. Did you mention the Chapman play where he dropped the ball at first?
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Wade.
Because what happened is they're in the shift. LeMahieu's at first. Gets by LeMahieu, but then Wade's there to back him up. And I mean, it hit Chapman in the glove. Right in the glove.
It's
and
you got to take those types of plays with Chapman. It's just, he was on the run. Should have caught it. Not an easy play. It's just a 50-50 ball with him at that point.
We can just make that.
That's what I'm saying. 50-50 ball on plays like that where it's out of the ordinary. It just left the door open, but he shut it. He did it. He got himself into that mess to a certain extent and got himself out of it. So at the end of the day, I'll take that. I just hope there isn't a play like that in a more important game down the line.
Yeah, that would suck. So yeah, that Chapman 103.4 was the fastest strikeout pitch since 2019. 103.4. That's crazy. And
That's very fast.
I see something that you wrote later on. I was going to talk about one of Chapman's injuries, but it's later on.
Yeah.
So we move on to game 3. You know, we are not a team to sweep teams, but coming off a sweep. Wait, what am I saying? We lost the first game. What am I saying?
We just never win the last game of the series. I think is.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
So we have a chance to win the series against, like I said, the hottest team in baseball. And Jordan Montgomery. I mean, he gave up a home run to Olsen in the first inning, but I mean, come on now, like
gutsy.
Yeah.
Very gutsy. It was huge because Manea was mowing us, so he was matching for a good portion of the game, which we needed badly.
I tweeted this. We made Sean Manea look like freaking Randy Johnson.
He had his stuff. I watched this whole game. He was disgusting. He was putting the fastball wherever he wanted, and then he was just putting his put away pitches at the knees. The way he was overlaying it, top of the zone to the bottom of the zone. It was more just his day than our offense just rolling over. It wasn't like the Ross Stripling game where it's like, why aren't we hitting this guy? He had his stuff today. And I mean, he had a sub ERA going into the game. And it is the type of game where you just need to get hits in timely moments. And we did.
Yep, we did. It did get shaky though.
For sure.
It got shaky and it didn't get shaky. So Gary comes up with, what was it, first and second?
Yeah, 1 out.
First and second, 1 man out. I know you're not a big fan of bringing up 2017, but I mean that double had 2017 written all over.
He hit 2 opposite field doubles in the game. Huge. Yep. He had one earlier in the game too. It was huge. Very true.
It just proves that he's more comfortable. I don't want to keep going up and doing my stupid impersonations, but I felt like at the start, like during Gary's
give it to us.
Gary's slump. All right, fine, I'll do it. Gary's slump. He's like here, right? And he's like here. He would pick up his foot. He would just start picking up his foot.
All right, go.
So Gary pick up his foot, like he would double tap it. Like what is that? He's more relaxed and he's more fluid. I don't know. And I mean, I'm super happy. He's hitting 339 in his last 20 games. He's got 6 home runs, 5 doubles. Like, I mean, he's on fire. That's a huge hit. And he's going for third for some reason. I don't know who told him to go to third.
Oh my God.
Running the bases.
And he was out by 40 feet if the catcher just stepped in through.
I'm telling you, Gary's like, he's good at like evading people.
Nimble guy. He's tight,
nimble guy.
Tippy toes. Tony toe tap. He got around him twice. It was crazy.
I was like, what is that? And he kept his hand on the base. Like, that was crazy. And then it happened earlier. It was the Twin series. We had first and second. Ground ball to Donaldson. Gary's charging third, obviously, because it's, he has to. And instead of Donaldson just turning the double play, he actually waits for Gary, and Gary, like, runs around him. He was out of the baseline, but, like, he stopped it. So while he's the most stupid base runner, he's, like, not as stupid.
He's ballerina on it. Yup.
So fact that we kept him at third, we go ahead 2-1. And of course, we have 1 out after the challenge. We've 1 out to get something done. We were on the phone and just, Stanton came up.
I'll give him a pass. He hit 2. He executed twice, hit a foul ball home run and a rocket down the third baseline, both just foul. He smoked the last pitch. He had a great opportunity to just go the other way, but after pulling the 2 balls that he did, he just wasn't in the mindset to go the opposite way on Romo, who throws like 78 miles an hour. Yeah. Obviously, he has to get the job done, but watching it live, I see why he didn't. And I'll give him a pass because we won the game. Yep. I would be pissed if we lost, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, we didn't get the run in, which was upsetting. But the thin bullpen held it. Loizaga. wow.
I don't know what to say anymore. I keep getting up, but it's for good reasons.
He's so good. I'm way more concerned about Loizaga in the All-Star game. Let's go. I'm way more concerned about him in the All-Star game than Gary. And I don't care about the All-Star game. I'm just gonna say I'm a Grinch about stuff like that. I don't care if we get the most selections. I don't care if we're in the home run derby. I don't want us in the home run derby. Actually, it's straight curse. But I mean, if anyone deserves to be in the All-Star game, Loizaga has been absolute nails this year.
He threw like 37 or 38 pitches, and he just
mid-30s. Yeah,
no
he
runs,
just didn't
no
give
hits,
up.
one walk.
Huge. And the walk was
unavailable.
baloney too. The walk was baloney, but whatever.
God,
yeah.
Yep. That's crazy.
It was a 3-2 pitch. Just couldn't have been more perfect. Call the ball. Yeah, I think they were saying Britton's arm was sore, but it wasn't like an injury. It's just still building back up. Maybe he had one too many outings. And then they were also saying Chad has pitched a lot, and they kept getting him hot in the pen and then sitting him down. They just wanted to give him the day off with the off day tomorrow, the typical double off day. But yeah, I mean Loizaga and then Licky in the 8th.
I that was crazy. I wanted to say one more thing. I don't like that Zach Britton news. I'm sorry. I don't like that sore arm stuff. I don't know. I know it's like working back up, but I still don't like it. I don't like anything injury related with the Yankees. I feel like it's always just so much worse than they're displaying it. But I mean, he gets an out and then gives up I didn't see the exact triple, but I just knew he gave up a triple.
He hung it to Chapman, and as soon as he hit it, like he thought it was gone, he just yelled out like a fat cuss word. Like he thought it was way gone. And it just hit the top of the wall. And Clint kind of could have caught it, but
yeah,
whatever. And then it hit off the top of the wall, and Wade had to go pick it up. He subbed in center for Judge, and it was a sliding triple, and we had a runner on third, 1 out, and Licky just held it down. Big strikeout and then a fly out.
I mean, that fly out was, thank you, Yankee Stadium dimensions.
Yeah.
That ball was that ball was
he did what he had to do.
I just you get to the 9th inning and you're up by 1 run and you want to win this game so bad. It's like that Gary hit. You're supposed to win games that Gary gets those hits in. You're supposed to. Chapman comes in and just immediately doesn't have it. Just immediately. It wasn't like he was missing bad, but there were some balls called on him that he was just missing. So
his fastball was off. His fastball was so off. That was the one that he was missing by like feet. All it takes is one.
He walks the first 2 hitters. He loses both of them. And they send out the trainer. Supposedly he's got a split in the middle of in one of his fingers. So that's hard to grip a ball. I'm just gonna keep demonstrating. When you're a lefty, you're gonna put force on those
with
fingers.
No rosin, no sunscreen. He's getting sunburn out there. Like, give him a break.
I don't think
can't wait.
Sunburn. I don't think he's getting sunburn with his long sleeves in the 90-degree weather.
I can't wait till the first pitcher comes out with like some like skin mess up because he can't wear sunscreen on his arms. I can't wait for that story. That's gonna be MLB's gonna have some explaining to do.
I'm calling it. my friend, actually the friend that's a Mets fan. We were talking about probably the
Lulu.
Exactly. Palest. We'll call him just Lulu. We're talking about the palest players in baseball. And we were talking about the suns. He was like, guys are going to get sunburned. I was like, yeah.
No, for sure.
He was like, Spencer Turnbull is going to get it. And I was like,
that's funny.
There we go.
That's funny.
So just wait till Spencer Turnbull's got like a 3rd-degree burn because he's pitching in like 98-degree weather because he's not allowed to wear sunscreen. But yeah. So maybe you're allowed to wear sunscreen, but just not use the rosin. I don't know. But they call it back to the game. They call it the trainer, comes back, throws another ball that's just nowhere close. And you're just like, oh my God, the guy's got 10 balls in 1 strike. Like, what's going on?
7 balls in a row and Chapman swings. Why'd he swing? Or Sean Murphy.
I don't know.
7 in a row.
Bro, he hit it literally like right to third base. We step on it. We go to sec. I'm in the car. I'm in like York, Pennsylvania. It's like East Bumble blank. And like there's no, the antenna's not working. Like you can't hear a thing. I'm on AM radio. FM's not working. It's so staticky. And all I hear in the background is I'm like, what?
It was unbelievable. I was watching with my sister, and she's not a big baseball fan, but she's an athlete. Like she can figure out what's going on. And I'm sitting in my bed in the hotel because I'm homeless now, and I just start dying laughing. And you call me probably 30 seconds after. I just pick up the phone, still dying laughing. You're on the other end, just dying laughing. There's no other thing to even do. It was unbelievable that they got that done. Unbelievable.
It makes me happy. That
it just does.
That made my day. And then for Cheddar to
Big Ched.
2 out grand slam. We're calling him Ched because
I thought his name was Ched, and I tweeted out something about him, and I called him Ched instead of Shed.
Yep.
My bad. I was excited.
But when it comes to pronunciation, Zach and Luke, I did it again.
Bro, I don't have red hair, dude. Come on.
You're wearing an orange hat.
That is true.
But
Big Zach.
When it comes to pronunciations, Luke is just not there. Like Tua Tagovailoa, you just don't have it. How about we try?
Tua Tagovailoa. Whatever, dude. Trade deadline update. Did we overreact last week? What are you thinking? Because obviously, bro, I just think it was because we were literally 8.5 games out of first, just spiraling, and it was like, all right, we got to sell. I think now you look up.
I think part of it was because I went to Philly, I saw them get spanked, and I'm coming onto the podcast, and I'm like, something's got to change.
Yeah, that was a brutal series. But, I mean, we shaved 4 games off our deficit in our division and the wild card in a week, which is unheard of. Thank you, Seattle. And now we're going to play Kansas City. And if we win 2 out of 3, we're guaranteed to gain another game on either the Rays or the Red Sox because they play each other, which is massive. We're in striking distance. We really are.
Then we go play the Red Sox for 3 in Fenway.
So. In Fenway. I mean, as long as Sale doesn't magically appear from the IL, I think we'll be.
We just got to get Breivik Valera back to hit 2-run doubles.
Breivik Valera, love that triangle in Fenway. Where is he right now?
I think it was actually at Yankee. I'm pretty sure it was the Yankee Stadium series where Bob Costas was calling the games.
I just know he had a couple hits against the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Let's see, Breivik Valera.
He was with Toronto, and then he was in the minors.
He's I think he's in the Blue Jays organization.
Yeah.
He was pretty. If you want to get his autographed Topps Chrome rookie, it's going for $225 on eBay.
I mean, that's a snipe. I mean, like if you're trying to invest in someone, and I'll just smack the Breivik Valera.
Dude, I didn't even tell you. I went to the Giants game, the Yaz Grand Slam one, and we were in the shop before the game, and we saw baseball cards. It's like, obviously, we're gonna get baseball cards.
Baseball card guy.
Huge. And I got 1 pack for $6, and I feel it said chance at an auto relic or special insert, and I feel the back, and I feel a little bump, like I feel bump thing.
Oh, it was the security, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and but I didn't know, and my buddy got 3 packs, and none of them had anything in them. So I was like, oh, I got something. And I had to wait like 20 minutes to open it because we were trying to like sit down and do it.
Yeah.
And I opened it, and it was just, I got a doo-doo rookie card in the middle, and I was like, all right, that's fine. Here comes the insert. And it was literally just a blank piece of paper with the little thing on it. And I was like, oh, What a
no.
killer that was, bro. Oh, my God.
That is bad. All right. So if we're going to flex cards, I mean, I got my Jeter rookie here.
Wow.
All right. That's not the but this is my best card. The Mike Trout rookie. Just
How much is that worth?
like pushing 500, 600 if it's good grade. I got Mookie. It's hard to
Not a
see.
babe.
Mookie. I just got this Didi rookie card sitting around here. I don't know why Matt Chapman's hitting 220, but I for some reason threw Matt Chapman in a case.
He would have that one really good year.
Cody. Goldie. Goldie actually Goldie. So
there you go. Love it. My buddy has a red chrome like Yelich, and he got it at like when Yelich was like prime Yelich.
Okay.
And he showed it to me, and we were hyped about it, like it was going to be worth a good amount of money. And he's just plummeted since then. It's
off.
Crazy, bro.
Bad. I have this one in the case. Don't ask why. It's Altuve. Moving on. Chris Bryant, first Bowman. Ming Wong pulled it in the contract. Love Ming. I got this card for $8. Luis Severino autograph. It was a steal.
I mean, you got to get that for $8. I mean, that's what I paid for my pack that had the security thing in it.
I got Michael Jordan rookie.
Wow, that's cool.
I got another MJ, and then last couple. Judge rookie, and then
need it,
and then Bryce.
Love it. It's a good little collection right there. I see you.
Hey man, I had to pause, but yeah, the trade deadline. I mean, last episode we were bugging, but we had to bug because we're Yankee fans. We're impatient. We're gonna do what we got to do. But I mean, I think it's just inevitable. Ketel Marte. Me and Luke, we need him, but me and Luke were reading about him before the podcast, and from what I'm reading, it sounds like Ketel Marte is not a good center fielder whatsoever. Luke's saying that it's a hustle kind of thing. Why would you hustle for a team like the Diamondbacks? They've literally, since May 21st, have won 2 games, and we've turned 3 triple plays. They have the most consecutive losses ever on the road. 22?
They choked a 7-0 lead at the game I was at and 8-5 in the 8th. It's just a brutal team. I think that hustle more has to do with his sprint speed going from elite to below average, which I don't see how that would happen unless it's a hustle thing. Yep. And he may not get the best jumps in center, but neither did Hicks. It's not like Hicks is a plus defender out there. And it's fine if we need him in the lineup. We really do. Yep. Our lineup's still struggling a little bit. He provides so much versatility. It's just a perfect fit, in my opinion.
He had 3 hits last game. Right?
He had 3 hits his last game, I think. Yeah. So there you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
Case in point. So, I mean.
We can't just keep beating the dead horse on Ketel. We're going to keep talking about him for probably the next month until the deadline, but I'm full on the Ketel Marte train. Let's get it done.
Let's go. And, I mean, while we're at it, you might as well just try to get someone else back. I mean, I heard that the White Sox are trying to get Eduardo Escobar back. He was there earlier in his career, but I mean, I don't
care. I don't really want it. I just need someone to hit. I really do. Someone like David Peralta has a lot of RBIs, like a lot of RBIs. I don't understand why he's hitting like 6 for the D-backs, but I mean, that doesn't really move the needle for me? Is all I'm trying to say. I mean,
you get Marte and Peralta, and you can play Peralta.
Oh, no, if we get both, I'll be dancing. But if we just get Peralta, I'll be like,
I'd still be happy.
I'd take it. I just wouldn't be that thrilled, overly hyped. I don't know. I'm just my heart set on Ketel.
Facts. I think we've been set on Ketel, Marte, Parte. Me and Luke really didn't discuss it, but I talked about that Mariano game earlier where he came in, and I'm just unanimously picking that as the random game of the day. It was It was June 24th, actually 3 days from today, 11 years back. Yanks were in in Arizona, 165 to move their record to 45-27, much better than it is today.
I would kill for that record right now.
Yankee lineup went as following. We had Jeter, Swisher, Mark Teixeira, A-Rod, Cano, Cervelli, Granderson hitting like
wow. Yeah, he hit really low, I remember, in the first part of that 2010 year. Yeah.
And then you followed that up with something just happened. I apologize. You follow that up, Granderson up with Gardner and Javier Vasquez, who this was his second stint with the Yankees. We actually faced Dontrell Willis this game.
No, really?
The D-Train, who like killed us in the 03 World Series, but we don't talk about that. That World Series didn't count. Actually, the Aaron Boone home run won the World Series. So actually we have 28 rings. That the Marlins didn't beat us in the World Series. Steve Bartman did that. So Yanks win 6-5. Rivera goes 2 innings out of the bullpen, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Starts with second and third, nobody out. You had 2 hits from Gardy, you had 3 hits from Granderson, a home run from Granderson.
There you go.
The Diamondbacks lineup: Kelly Johnson, Steven Drew, Justin Upton, Miguel Montero, Chris Young, Adam LaRoche, or is this Andy LaRoche?
I loved Chris Young.
Yep. Well,
I don't know why. I just did.
Adam LaRoche, Mark Reynolds, Gerardo Parra, and Dontrell Willis. Actually, a pretty dang good lineup at the time. Those players at the time. And when I say you probably shouldn't like Chris Young, he was actually like trying to call out the Yankees for cheating in 2015 on like a podcast.
Really?
So maybe your feelings should go the other way. Because
I think it was
it was an Apple Watch thing, it's in the past. I just
whatever.
I think that was a little messed up. The bullpen, we went from Vasquez to Damaso to D-Rob to Jabba to Rivera.
Jabba rules.
Jabba rules. But I mean that's the random game of the day.
Locked down by Mo. Got used to that for a long time. If you could take one Yankee from the 09 team, what would it be?
One Yankee from 09?
Or we can do 2010 too, but I feel like I know the answer in 2010.
One Yankee from 09 that I put on this team. I mean, I'm not going to say something like A-Rod because we don't need a third baseman and we don't need a shortstop. I mean, I'd take Jeter. But
I would take,
I mean, I put Jeter on the team, but if we're looking just strictly on positional needs and we're gonna just base it off of, what we need at the time right now, not really based on skill, based on what we already have, I'm going Johnny Damon.
I like that. 09, I was gonna say CC, and then 2010, I was gonna say Granderson. I was trying to get at that'd be a perfect fit.
Pitcher. I wasn't really thinking pitcher, but now that I'm thinking about it, I could roll.
No, yeah, we can go pitcher and position player. I mean, Andy Pettit's another good one. He was just a horse in the playoffs. But position player, Johnny Damon in the 09 team is a very, very good choice.
I mean,
because our outfield wasn't insane in the 09. It was more the infield, but we need an outfielder and a lefty bat at the top of the lineup. I could see Damon hitting 2 and just sliding everyone down and giving us.
Now that I'm thinking about it, he was the everyday left fielder. He wasn't the center fielder, but I mean, like, still.
That's fine. We still kind of need a left fielder too, no?
Yeah.
Like defensively, especially, and should change one of those righty bats to a lefty would be good for study. I don't know, just something that popped in my head. But yeah.
Oh, you were going Jeter. You were going CC if it was a pitcher, right?
Yeah, I would say Jeter 09, CC if it's a pitcher, and then 2010. I just would like prime Curtis Granderson on this team. I think it would be.
Grandy was a beast then.
He was a stud.
He was easily one of my favorite players. But I mean, that wraps up another episode. Really hoping the Yankees can continue this. We don't really know who we're facing right now at the Royals. Could be Brady Singer, could be Bubic, it could be Bubic. It could be who knows? Who really knows? Right. But then we got to go play Boston. Then we got 4 at home. against the Anaheim Angels, excuse me. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, that wraps up another episode. Good week. Me and Luke are happy. Follow Monument Bark Pod, socials, Twitter,
sir.
Instagram.
Socials.
Just follow.
Yeah, congrats on Big 10 episodes for you and us. Just kind of sick.
Baby.
Yes, yeah, sir. First milestone of many. We'll be getting up there quick.
Yes, sir.
We're probably gonna go to after we get through like me moving and 4th of July and stuff. You think you want to go twice a week? You think?
I think twice a week might happen.
I think it could be in the works. Just giving everyone a heads up.
I wonder what it's gonna be like. We might have to do a live episode, you and me.
Oh, for sure.
Just to test it out before we go off to school. But I mean, it's gonna.
We're gonna live 15 minutes away, so might as well.
Lots more episodes coming.
Lots more to come. Yeah,
in the books. We will flip the page, go to number 11 next week, and we'll see you then.
Sir. Yep. Thank you, guys. Peace.